master in bass fishing is the jerkbait, by far. There's not even anything close second. It's like a very, very difficult technique to really master. Now, there's a difference between mastering a lure and just fishing a lure. It's a huge difference. It's the reason, it's pretty obvious what the reason on the jerkbait is the jerkbait basically does not, you can't just cast it out and reel it in. I mean, I'm not saying you can't catch a fish doing that, but the odds are you'll never get a bite if you just if you take a jerkbait out of the box, cast it, and just reel it in. You're not going to catch many fish, if any, on there. A jerkbait is a lure that you have got to manipulate, and you've got to put the action on yourself through wrist action and cadence and retrieve and that type of thing. So therefore, in order to understand what triggers a bass with a jerkbait, you have to spend a lot of time fishing it, because a lot of people that fish jerkbaits understand, the jerk pause. That's kindergarten right there, guys. If you relegate your jerkbait fishing to just jerk pause, you are in kindergarten with jerkbait fishing. There are dozens and dozens and dozens of different type of retrieves and cadences that you can use on the jerkbait, and all this is based upon a lot of different factors. It's based upon the water temperature, the water clarity, the water level, time of year, time of day, the mood and the personality of the fish, the species of the bass that you're fishing for. There's a lot of different situations with that determine that cadence that you have to use. So this is something that only comes with experience. I've done a ton of jerkbait videos, and you can refer back to some of my playlists, to go over that. But ultimately, guys, you have to learn dozens of different type of retrieves, and we'll talk a lot about that on the channel this year. And like I said, I've done some stuff you can refer back in the playlist. But when you're talking in terms of actually getting that jerkbait down deep, and then once that jerkbait is down at its deepest part, which I call the sweet spot in fishing, there's different types of manipulation. Sometimes they want it suspended, sometimes they want it floating up, sometimes they want it sinking, sometimes they want it just barely moving, sometimes they want it twitched a couple times and barely moving, sometimes they want a hard jerk, sometimes they want a really soft pull. There's just a ton of stuff that we can go over with that, and until you have spent seasons and seasons and seasons experimenting and using those different techniques and understanding which one of those techniques works in certain situations, you'll never be a true master of jerkbait fishing. That's why it's so difficult, and that's why it takes so long to learn it. And then on top of that,